falter in the winter and summer. And whether or not that's factually true, I think they have a plan this time. But, we're not going to look so good going into TI this time. Last year they won the Manila Major. Maybe we don't want everyone to focus on us and be keying in on us going into TI as the favorite. Maybe not the best.
So
is that their big game plan here?
We talked about this, right? OG are experimenting. Yeah, where they're not going to be the same form they are at the major, but you still have to be a strong all-around team to beat them, correct?
Yeah, I think experimenting might be a bit of a strong word. It's kind of just finding how they want to play this patch and their approaches. But I think they're willing to try out very different strategies. That's the mark of a team that's find its place.
Any team that's able to take a game or even a full series off of OG is surely a top-tier contender.
Tier 1 team. You're not just going to be the best team in the world who can't win every LAN by not being a good team.
Game number 3. OG Faceless. Draft has already begun. Wisp and Spearbreaker going to be banned away in the first 1-2 Train Protector. Pull by Faceless.
With Spearbreaker, all 3 games, they just don't want to deal with that, especially the Spearbreaker. That is the SCA style of play. Just run at you, get in your face, and do your thing.
OG's turn to
the mobility from Faceless has been something that they've played very well throughout this tournament. And we saw, obviously, in the Clutch Gamer series last game as well, just a lot of mobility from their 3 cores and in every lane.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
And it's kind of the blueprint of how they expected to win games before. They wanted to have good laning matchups. They expect their players, I've heard the term, hey, this is SCA. We expect to do well in lane. So they have good lanes for them and then kind of play like split across the map and apply pressure when they need to and just be able to get these smaller and smaller advantages and build them up. Almost a little bit like EG in a sense.
10 seconds remaining.
It's weird seeing this clockwork pick. You always assumed it was going to be on that off lane, but nowadays it feels more like that 4 role, that roaming role. Draft's open for him.
Yeah, apparently OG not going to get Faceless third time. Clockwork away from them. It seems like the 4 positions really important in this matchup, but there's still plenty of depth when it comes to that support role. We haven't seen the Kunkka in this.
Could be. Wonder if they just go Darkseer or Slardar here. A lot of their first 2 picks that they've been stringing together is once again going with second pick here. Obviously OG got the chance to choose after the last game. But
Sanking, they like the Crystal Maiden as well. That coupling hero.
They could. They're taking a little bit of time. Usually when you see those first 2 picks, they want to pick them up right away. And maybe they want to steer away from the Crystal Maiden this time. I think OG's expecting it. Maybe they want to switch it up.
5 seconds remaining.
I think both teams want to focus a lot more on the mid lane. In the winning games, Anna on the Invoker was 18-0. Last game, Black in middle was 12-0. So, I mean, when they're winning games, it's all because of that middle lane.
And the crowd goes wild.
Yo, Crystal Main, there you go.
Or Dare. So we're going to go for the Crystal Maiden Sand King combination for Faceless. You're talking about the mid lane. Does that mean maybe we leave heroes later on to the draft, whereas we saw the
I think towards the end, we definitely don't leave a super hard counter like they did last game in the pool. You do something probably more even. OG still has the Warlock if they want to go for it.
What about the Phoenix? There's a lot of team fighting happening between these 2 teams. Where win that hero? Because after all, it's an OG staple.
Yeah, it's something they've used a lot frequently. You mentioned that as far as supports go, they played this as well. Recently, this is a hero that has been buffed successively for quite a bit, offers that early push as well and some lane zoning. I think Fly, other than Fly, I don't recall this hero being used in the last few weeks, so.
Yeah, everybody talked about it. Everybody talked about it. Shadow Shaman hit so hard. He was already climbing in the previous patch. We saw more and more teams reaching out to the Shadow Shaman sometimes as a potential pickup, but I don't know what it is, but I feel like teams are a little bit afraid of grabbing the Shadow Shaman. It's just one of those heroes that can look super good and can feel super good in some of these scenarios, but when you get pressured, Shadow Shaman can frequently fall apart.
Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, one of his best skills is, you just shackle. You get interrupted so easily. If you do want to send him middle, like, he falls off harder than any other core. I mean, when we used to see it. It's just a hard hero to run, and they just take it in the first phase, which is crazy.
And if they expect this to be potentially an offline Sand King in terms of being able to zone that hero, there aren't too many heroes that do this well, and I think that Shadow Shaman, with the recent buffs, is more equipped to do that or trade with him and disable him as well than other heroes.
Force that Sand King to maybe roam around instead of stand up there in the Sandstorm getting farm. I mean, you go in the Sandstorm, you get held for what, 2.5 seconds at level 1 even, you're just going to die.
10 seconds remaining.
Terrorblade banned down. OG hasn't picked him the first phase once, it's been second phase banned every time.
Oh, and that's actually surprising me. Faceless banning away the SF, where with the Animage ban from OG, I thought maybe the Storm Spirit. Maybe they want it for themselves?
10 seconds
It'll be interesting to see
remaining.
them pick the middle lane right out of these second bans they could, especially with these
5
hard
seconds
counters being
remaining.
not banned.
What is it that Shadow Shaman gives you
Reserve time.
in from a drafting perspective? Because all these other heroes, we've seen them. We've seen them on the main stage for an audition. Why would you go Shadow Shaman?
So, not just what he offers now as a laner, obviously attack range is short with much more right click, but as far as getting some tower push out of a support position, something that you see at a premium,
Radiant
say
team
Jakiro would offer that, or Leshrac would offer that, Shadow Shaman does in a sense as well. And then pairing him with a hero like Clockwork, big picture perspective, you can create terrain or areas that are very difficult to fight into.
Instead of something like a Warlock where you have a giant cooldown on your ulti and Shadow Shaman's wards are much lower and you can split push with them. You don't just like, oh, I'm going to Warlock Rock and push a tower. With Shadow Shaman, you can do that. You just throw the wards down. You can even run if you want. You take easy towers as a 5-roll.
reserve time.
Seems like all these teams are experimenting with heroes that assist you in being able to take down towers and even push high ground. Shen and Enchantress, saw the Jakiro, days of the patch, and now reaching out to the Shadow Shaman. Faceless gonna go for a tried and true Bristleback.
I like it. Pick it up a little early. Obviously, you're probably going to get a Silver Edge hero eventually, but they just take it. It's one of those heroes, if you win the early game, you just go straight through. You're never going to die, especially if you have insane positioning like we saw NP have with it, where you have to pick the Bristleback. Might just lose.
So Legion Commander isn't banned out this game as it was the first one for Faceless. I wonder if OG wants to go that direction in dealing with the Bristleback. And then of course Shadow Shaman has presence at Roshan as well. So.
Yeah, Legion Commander makes Bristleback face your way, makes you shut him down. He can't just run around crazy. It's not a terrible pick here. They take plenty of time there.
I don't know why crowd is all about the ice.
Who isn't?
Will there won't. All right, we're getting down to like the bitter end of the timer here for OG. 15 seconds. And what their third pickup is. How do you deal with Bristleback?
10 seconds.
Just
remaining.
ignore him?
Could just get heroes, go around him. I mean, when you usually pick a Bristleback, especially with Sand King, Crystal Maiden, you just want to run down 5-man, take some towers. I mean, you could avoid them, but that's one way to do it.
Elder Titan. That'll certainly cut the Bristleback down to size a bit.
Yeah, and that's one of Jarex's best. Yeah, there you go.
This is something that we've seen Faceless run a little bit in the offlane as well on the previous patch, getting more almost Abaddon type of items. A hero that can mix it up a little bit, but also in keeping with OG wanting to have synergy and combo between spells that they draft very frequently. You have multiple setups for the Elder Titans to stomp in. So makes sense in that perspective. Doesn't give too much away necessarily either. The cores still could be undecided for them.
Elder Titan's super reactionary. Now you go on someone, Elder Titan just TBs in, stomps, you set up for something, or you just can run away. It's a good reset hero.
So you think we're looking at
Weaver.
OG's turn to pick.
Afraid of that.
10 seconds remaining.
Still, I mean, Elder Titan is a decent counter with his aura against that Bristleback, but you definitely still need someone who can actually put out insane amounts of damage.
OG have been running this quite a bit. Safe lane, Faceless Void. Setting up, they don't even necessarily need the clearest combination with their mid. Like they've been running Faceless Void and Ember Spirit. We haven't actually seen like the huge wombo combos, but we've got a lot of setup for it so far. The Elder Titan being able to follow up off of the Chronosphere, even Shadow Shaman can play around it. It's certainly going to be a tough 5-man lineup for Faceless to crack.
OG is definitely looking at Invoker, easy Sunstrike setups. I mean, he's extremely good with Shadow Shaman Faceless when they just ban it out.
They do feel like that they've got those options, right? Invoker gets
I don't think Ember Spirit's probably the play for OG. I think they actually do need like a ranged building hit or something like a maybe not Shadow Fiend, maybe like a TA or something.
I like the synergy of the OG lineup. Also, Faceless Void isn't the easiest to kill against some of these more sustained rather than bursty heroes, because they could have an issue bringing him down. And also with the time dilation up against, say, the Bristleback who wants to be spamming his spells constantly, frontline having dilation could be a big deal, and stopping him basically from casting spells for a little bit in the fight. Same potentially with the Weaver. It's depend on the Chiguchi to move around and escape. So I like that Void pickup, and I like the synergy of the OG draft so far.
5 seconds remaining.
OD actually look pretty good for both teams right now. The OG can just take Mirana.
Mirana, that is much more of an early game focused here. I expected. Faceless, meanwhile, well, you're going to have to be a pretty good analyst to figure this one out. What exactly are we looking at here? Weaver mid Bristleback? Is the Weaver support this time around? Is Sand King the support?
Like Weaver's probably going to be in the safe lane again. Bristleback going to be running possibly in like an aggro tri-lane. We see a lot of that actually with the Bristlebacks now. They could just send a middle. I mean, it's Mirana versus Bristleback isn't that bad with the poor man shield starting.
I think you can run a strong lane with the Faceless lineup, and I think you might want to move the Weaver to support this time. I think the Weaver Axe has a lot of value against all of this setup and single target synergy from OG and being able to save a big core, especially if you value that Bristleback. So maybe support, maybe jabs Weaver this time.
So mid hero.
They have been surprising us all day though, so.
Weaver support here is going to have a real hard time finding levels, especially against that Shadow Shaman Elder Titan. He's just going to be following him around. They're not going to be able to do anything.
Naga Siren, Faceless. They pull it out against OG. Wow. Hey, what better way to stop the Wombo combo from Faceless Void than a Song of Siren to sweep on in? Put a halt to everything. But is this mid Naga Siren? Is Black going to be playing it? Are they switching things around on us? Port Naga Siren? I feel like you've actually got like 3 or 4 different heroes that all can occupy 2 different spaces.
I think Black is the Naga player when he's playing carry, so he'll probably just take it middle more than likely.
All right, well, I hope you're right. Taking it away from us. Jack?
I think this is going to be a much more tightly contested game, and again, another very interesting draft from Faceless. Can't wait to see how this one goes.
Oh, you didn't actually give me a prediction one way or the other, Jack.
All right, I'm going to go with Faceless here.
Grant?
I'm going to go with OD. I just think with the Elder Titan, they have so much. Like, they can just do anything they want besides that Naga. If they somehow pick up that Naga, the rest of the team's just going to crumble behind them.
All right, Jack, I didn't let you cop out, but I'm going to cop out. Our analysts are going to be 1-to-1, so I'll pass it off to Toby 1 and Merlini.
Well, this obviously means the deciding vote lies with us. Merlini.
I don't know. I haven't seen Naga Siren so much recently. She hasn't fared so well, and OG actually lost with her early in this tournament. I still got to go with Faceless here, though.
It's funny because I'm sitting on the same bench. I think Faces actually have a nice way to reset the fight. The off lane, I think ISIS can have a great time with the Bristleback, a hero who has been performing really, really well throughout this entire tournament. It's hard to go against it. At the same time, the points of the panel are right. ET picked up great synergy when it comes to the Faceless Void and everything else that OG have. So this is going to be a real tight contest, game number 3. And the loser of this, they don't go home. They stick around and keep watching the terrific Dota. The winner moves forward to play in our next elimination game and our last one for the day. Cannot wait for both the next series as well as this game to unravel.
So in terms of the hero to player combinations, we will see Black taking up the mid Naga Siren. We see off lane is the Bristleback, and XY will be playing the Weaver. It will not be a support Weaver. They probably do need the Ags on the Weaver up as soon as possible to save someone from the Chronosphere combo, as well as just getting comboed by Arrow in a hook shot. There's plenty of things, that single target abilities that it's going to save you from. And then you also need the Naga Siren to have a lot of farm, so she can disrupt the fights with her illusions and, of course, survive or be in good position so she can sleep and reset.
Yeah, if she can have those illusions on the field, having the Radiance burn, that's obviously going to give you a good advantage coming into the fight. Even though most of OG are not reliant on Blink, the Shaman may be a little bit later on if Fly is able to find that much farm. That's a huge if. But I like the points you're making too. Like, you need to have that Weaver Axe. You're not just reliant on Song of the Siren to reset and get control back in this engagement. At OG, it's like they're hoping to contest. If they can get a first kill, this would be a beautiful thing for them. Contesting up the rune. It's under the cover of smoke. They do move forward. Ice is going to be the only close target, but there's a lot of heroes right behind him. So here comes Ana looking for the target. Black moves forward as well. Where's that Burrow Strike? Line them up. Actually only catching out one. They're going for the support. They're going for Fly. He will fall. Ice with a cool spray. Does find the kill, and they're starting to stack up. Ana needs more help to run away from this one. He went Arrow, not Leap to start with. He needs more distance. One more spray will do the work. He's hoping to dine up the Roshan, but it won't work. Jabs closes the distance with the Burrow Strike into the pit. And OG, not the start they wanted. They wanted to be the aggressors, but they are the ones mourning their dead.
The level 1 is not strong 4 on 4. With 4 on 1, yeah, they can easily kill someone with the shackles or isolate them with arrow, but there was very little chance that they were going to get the rune once they saw how many heroes were there. Maybe if Jirax got a good stomp, but that is not the start that you want to give a Naga Siren team.
Now, you might have been happier if you had that leap of Mirana to escape, but you committed. You went for the fight. It didn't work out, and now Faceless are rolling back into this control up Ana play style, where you're able to have both the Crystal Maiden plus that melee heroes. Time walk away. Okay, maybe he doesn't. The cool sprays are high. Ice is at 1 or 2. Having the stick charges will allow No-Tail to survive, however.
This matchup works both ways. I think Bristle's good versus the Faceless Void because you can time lapse off his damage, time walk off the damage, but you still won't time walk off the stacks. And on the flip side, you have time dilation, which is really good versus the spray. So usually we'll see Bristles build like an early Lotus, an early Greaves perhaps, so that he can deal with a time dilation. Time dilation did get buffed, and you want to be able to spam Quilt as often as possible.
I'm also wondering too, like with this mid lane, Ana running that Mirana, it's a hero who's able to play very quick catch-up. Is it worth going for the Aghanim Scepter build, go for the flash farm and the flash push on the side lanes?
It's really tough to call because of the buff to Dagon.
Oh, Jabs. He's trying to hold him here a little bit longer. It's going to help when the Hadouken creep lets a little bit more go and Fly. Understands he has to keep Ice away from the Elder Titan, but Jabs may have enough damage just himself. One more hit. Jirax dropped down to 5 HP. Jabs can't close the distance. Jirax will be able to survive.
Elder Titan not terribly great at roaming around this early in the game. Decides to go for a neutral suicide. Probably similar amount of time spent not fighting for him.
Yeah, that did get nerfed a couple of patches ago.
I'm a little bit surprised we haven't seen Pudge as often as we have, because if you stealth rods, you still respawn very, very quickly. But I guess now it's back to first ban.
Well, especially against these teams. Fly, going to try and hold Ice in position. He's happy with this. He's still got a couple of stick charges himself. Jirax will arrive, and that's enough to dissuade Ice continuing on Fly. And actually, Fly still here. There goes your shackles. One more spray will probably do the work. He's got the charges already used. Can't get the salve off in time. Hit with the bottle opener of Jirax.
Very surprised he went for a 102 build on the Faceless Void. 1 point in time dilation, I think, would have been much simpler in killing this Bristleback, so he can't just stack up the sprays. The thing lasts a really long time.
We still have to remember that OG are committing so many heroes to try and deal with this off-laner.
Yeah.
Like, everything you possibly can. The only support he really needs is a little bit of rotation coming in from Jabs, and then Ice can just posture, and OG can only do this every now and then. They can't keep this pressure up.
And Crystal Maiden is free farm. We haven't seen her at all. And that's the dream for her. She can just get aura buff off her team, and she's a double camping too.
Yeah, she's
Double pulling
she's messing
sets.
with the waves. So S4 at least can come in and try and contest some of this, but this disrupts his lane. So you got an undisrupted lane. You got a Bristleback farming heavily on the off lane. Clockwork's managed to find 18 for 8, so S4's actually done a lot of work in this off lane. So maybe it's not as bad as you may think. His early rotation is going to come very early.
Yeah, as for your earlier question on the build for Ana, I've seen a lot more like Dragon Lances into Maelstrom, like the more right-click build, especially with the buff up to Leap. But I think that build probably fares better versus clearing out illusions in the late game. Then again, though, with Dagon Chain killing illusions, I'm not
Jabs. Able to get the Burrow Strike off. Where's that time lock? He needs a little bit more time. Granted. My face is looking very tired having a nap on the top lane.
sure. Did go for the 1 point in dilation. I think it helps a lot versus all of their heroes. And with Faceless Void, he is not picked commonly versus Roots too. Not being able to time walk out of that is very detrimental to his laning phase.
Looks like Jirax trying to make some kind of play onto Black. Looping around. Okay, well, this is easier for Ice. One more hit. The shackles from Fly. I think he just gave up his own life to do this, or did he? That ether shock damage is just so high. Back to the middle lane. You got a rotation coming in around the back as Jabs looking for Ana. Able to hit the Burrow Strike. Leap is available. Frostbite holds him there, and he can't break free. So Ana will fall, a 1-for-1 trade-off. Ana is the highest CSer on the board at the moment, even if that is not reflected in the net worth. Currently, that title belongs to the Naga Siren.
Naga Siren going for a bootsless build. They're very heavy on the mana and regeneration despite having a Crystal Maiden on the team, but he is going to be out of control. He can just constantly farm 3-0-3 build, all out on the farm. Doesn't need to sleep. The sleep setup is pretty terrible for a side of Faceless. Theoretically, I suppose you can set up for Epicenter, but it is nowhere close to the level 1 with combo that we usually
Bottom
see with the
lane.
Naga.
That's a really good scan from the Dire that just pinged off. S4 understood he was being flanked. It was the smoke from Jabs and Nuts looking for their target. They have found S4. He's got no quick way out of this one. So support, it needs to TP in. It needs to come fast, or does he just fight it out with the shackles? You hold Jabs in position. The ET Storm able to catch the Crystal Maiden. Nuts in the tree line. Spirit giving that vision. Not to mention the amplification. Nuts has to frost and try and hide. Juking around the trees. More space. Fly gets one attack in. One more punch should do it. Nuts back under the tower, but Jirax able to reach him before the tower takes the kill. They get rid of the Observer Ward. And OG bring in the numbers while up on top lane. No tell. Having to run away from Ice. Realizing no more support there means it's Ice lane.
What a perfect play from S4 with the cogs. They couldn't do anything.
Okay, that's big. If they
Okay.
can find him, they will. Clockwork will fall.
Yeah, on the bottom lane, the TPN for the Shaman, I don't know who used that skin, but it went a long way in securing S4's early game. But Black still uncontested in the farm. Marana is just, I would say, mediocre at invading the jungle and like stopping the
They're coming mid again. Burrow Strike out, having the triangle boost, giving the speed. Nuts, there's Giroud again. He has leap available, plus 7-1 charges, but with the Weaver bugs on him, XY arriving in the right time. Ana will fall, and all of the damage is time-lapsed out by XY. A good pick by Faceless once again in this mid, keeping Ana shut down.
Bringing the exact right amount of people without the early movement from the Weaver. He didn't really do that much last game, but this game I think he's going a long way into securing the early game, just buying enough time. He needs to be a lot more active this game to create space.
Jabs wants to kill. Burrow Strike onto Fly. XY is going to arrive as well. The hook shot, perfect. Fly tries to turn it around. Can they get the laps off in time? They cannot. So Weaver will fall, and OG, not certain if they were playing the bait game with the Shadow Shaman, but it works out for them nonetheless. It's Ice. Chronosphere has to be committed. At least now they can hit the face. They found it with the arrow from Ana. Ice will fall on the top lane. Good picks on both of the big cores of Faceless.
Perfect lockdown from the side of OG. I don't think that the Weaver expected the second point in the shackle from the Shadow Shaman. He went for a 2-1-2 build, and that little bit of extra disable prevented him from casting time-lapse.
It's the important thing. Shaman is the primary lockdown against that Weaver.
Still on the net worth graph. Naga Siren slowly creeping up. Silent farming in the jungle. And OG, it has to be a pressing matter for them. Yes, they are getting kills on the other cores, but when those Radiant illusions start coming out, there's only one easy way to kill them. That's the Voodoo on the Shaman. Aside from that, all their other cores have huge issues trying to kill those.
I wonder with the buff to Ether Shock if Fly actually has an easier way to get rid of those illusions. Because this is the levels which he's actually reaching earlier, so the gold might be swinging the way of Faceless just by 327, a lot of it with the Naga, but the experience, the amount of experience gained in just the last couple of fights is already pushing OG closer towards that 2k lead on it, and has given Shadow Shaman his very early Mass Serpent wards, so they can start pushing down towers, they can have the bonus damage in the fights, and they can have that longer control coming out from Fly.
That's why, in a very precarious, he is an extremely
shot.
difficult hero to kill though.
They need to hold him in position. He just time-lapse out quickly. No, the arrow! It connected. He got inside of Shikuchi, but with Sentry Ward down, he just has to stand and take it. Which he could not. That was a bug.
Does not look like his camera was in the right position to elude that gank. He didn't see anything coming from the left side. Instead, trying to kill the cogs and move out to the right. And there will be the smoke into the push of the safe lane tower. One of the huge benefits of Shadow Shaman.
The Mass Serpent wards, and because Jirax can keep the creep wave back, they've got all the damage just sticking around, and there is nothing Faceless can do about this. Even if you want to bring down your biggest hero, which would be Ice, he has the Vanguard down now, but it's still not going to be enough to stop this push from OG.
And meanwhile, we do have No Tail farming the top lane. He is going for a Battle Fury. That is, you don't see that often at all.
The Farm Void?
Yeah, the Farm Void. Occasionally you see what Maelstrom, I would suppose, is the alternative farming item.
Oh, he really wants to get this farm.
Oh,
Jab and Nuts are trying to actually steal what belongs to Mirana, what belongs to OG with the Sandstorm. They may just have enough.
Oh my god, how did they find the stack? How did OG just leave this be?
And they leave the Observer Ward behind. OG are on the hunt. They want to find kills. They're hunting XY. They're trying to restrict the farm of Black, but the amount of levels you just picked up for Jabs and Nuts by taking that huge stack is, well, a lot. I don't have a number.
And I was like, 5 stack, I think?
It looked like it. 5 or 4.
Yep. Maybe saving that up for No Tail with this Battle Fury, but that's not going to come for quite some time.
Yeah. Might have been also another way where you could get it with Elder Titan and Shadow Shaman. It could be for them. Hook shot hits nicely. It's onto Jabs. The Cogs trying to hold him there. The Pyro Strike's already been committed, and he's still trapped inside the Cogs. Support will arrive. It's going to be Ice, trying to push OG back off this mid-tier 1 tower. Start the stacks, slow down Fly, keep the cool spray going. That tier 1 tower is not too healthy. And it looks like OG will be backing up to trigger the shrine. This is right underneath that Observer Ward, so while Faceless took the stack, they also left Vision behind.
Just waiting for that Serpent Ward cooldown is already back up in case they want to move in to that T1 area. Elder Titan aura, not particularly good, especially with the way that Bristleback is itemizing. He's going for Vanguard right now. The minus magic resistance, I guess, is not terribly useful unless Mirana goes for a magic build. And it looks like she is starting to build towards that Scepter in her quick buy.
S4 would love to jump in. Unfortunately, he doesn't have his ulti yet. It's still on cooldown for another 10 seconds.
They're not forced to use the Shaman wards for this tower, though. Now Black has much less area to farm. They can just sweep the top, drop towers on that, and just keep the train rolling.
Exactly where they do go. Flies the man the TP's in, able to get the Hex. Got the Shackles to follow up. The 2 points are going to hold him there for a while. Now that hookshot is off cooldown. So S4 jumps in, traps himself in with Ice. They need more damage here before Ice starts to kill him. The mana burn is nice. There was a couple of one-shots. Now he's got the man to TP out. Faces Void, no tail! The chrono, it doesn't hit the target. Ice begins his TP and will be successful.
Wow, that's some space creation right there. That death just leads to the death of his T1 tower, but with that escape, that should buy enough time for Nagasiren to get her Radiance. She's still a bit a ways, despite not having any heroes really come towards her at all. Still, now Ice is just at the forefront. They can't kill him. They need to kill him to take this tower down.
Yep.
But he's standing as a sentinel right in front.
But when Fly's got no light to stand in the front lines, because he went for the Arcane Boots as opposed to Tranquils, which is understandable as well, he just doesn't have the regeneration to work with to stay on the front lines.
It means tough life for a Shaman.
It is. Maybe a little bit tougher for the Crystal Maiden, but then again, there's money coming in for the CM. She may be still shy of level 6, the only hero who hasn't hit that yet. But her sacrifice is so the Naga is able to have more space, more farm. And because this pressure is applied on top, what was slowing down Black was the fact that OG was invading the Radiant jungle, and he just didn't want to die. he made sure that there was no deaths to his name. He's still 1-0-2 on this Naga.
Yeah, I also think he got rid of his raindrops earlier. That he
Anna, the shackles, came underneath the sentry. What he's just on the edge. The time lapse from XY will work. The Hex won't hold. The arrow will also miss its target. So away to safety, XY is out.
And the rocket came out just a tiny bit too late for them. And OG, they're struggling to take on towers before the Radiance timing comes online. They only have a few more minutes left, I would say. And 2 T1s is not enough, I think, for them in this early game. Things are starting to look a little bit more scary for them. As Relic is just picked up on the Naga Siren. So Courier coming out now, and they cannot invade this jungle at all.
I'm waiting for Ice to just rip apart No Tail. Like, he's getting stick charges available, but the continuous pressure on the top tower, Nuts is coming in as well just to provide that extra route. I'm actually committing more.
They use a scan. They're wondering who the heck is behind him. Like, he's playing so aggressively. You can't let Ice always get away with this, but there is a hero sitting right behind him, but just not where they expect.
That's enemy S4, so Ice again locked inside the cop. Wants to stand his ground. Nuts, do you feel like you have enough? The ET split is being used. They commit Chrono. Nuts almost walked into it. Now he lets it go. Nortel realizes something is awry. Moves over towards the side, so Ice is still alive and fighting. Finally will be brought down. Nuts will join him. A quick frostbite. Epicenter. Jabs cleaning up the back line. Fly will fall as well, and XY, he'll arrive. The icing on the cake of maybe the fight, but no, Anna is so much damage with the Starfall. They need more Nortel. Able to time-lapse off a large portion of the damage. They get rid of the Scarab Beetles and Anna and Nortel and retreat to the safety of their tier 1 tower. Ended up being a 3-for-2 trade-off. Heavy commitment from OG, but it seems to pay off.
I think that Jazz would have been there earlier had he had his blink, but I think he was there maybe 5 seconds too late. If they had been able to initiate when the Bristle had been jumped, that would have been so bad for OG. They probably would have lost his tower as well as all 5 heroes. But they still need a little bit more time for them to be able to play around Ice.
Give that time, and I'm still looking at Black, waiting for this Radiance to be completed. He just needs the recipe for it now.
Yeah, on the flip side, we have Mirana very close to her eggs, so she still should be able to keep up in terms of farming pace with the Naga Siren. And keep in mind, Illusion heroes have gotten a lot of nerfs. Less damage to towers, Naga Siren specifically with their ultimate.
I'm waiting for, again, this top lane Fly. He's posturing Ice, but how do you even really fight this? When the Blade Melt gets completed on the Bristleback, it's going to be almost impossible to fight him, and Jabs is coming in to help. So is Jirax, however, so Ice is now about to be tested. The Shackles to start, the Mass Serpent wards, you hold him in position. The Splitter as well, everything you've got. Ice tries to be a man, Jabs the Burrow Strike, connects on 3. The Bristleback will fall down, and Jabs gets caught, but in comes XY, the hook shot, buying time, the arrow flies through, splits between the 2 heroes, but it won't matter when you already found that 1 kill. Jirax starts to stomp, he'll die before he completes it, however.
That creep has mad packs, dude.
It sees everything.
That just made it so easy for him to attack before the stomp came off. Slim chance of him surviving there, but they committed everything for that. They dropped the Serpent Wards, and still they just get obliterated because Faceless realized that that's the only hero they can kill on the map. They desperately want this T1 tower, and they're not making any great use out of their heroes that they aren't even able to approach it at all.
Yep.
So Faceless, they've played around Ice well the second time that he has fallen, and Naga Siren, finally, the Radiance will be completed.
Yes, and this was the big critical thing. He was able to have the tier 1 tower go his way. So everyone's been continuously fighting, create space for Black, but now Black will start to get involved in these engagements, something which really hasn't happened. We haven't seen Song of the Siren. We haven't seen the effect of, now, the Radiance. His illusions will still be a little bit easier to deal with.
If he trickles them in, though, there's not that many good ways for them to deal with it. Like Ellen Titan is nothing. Clockwork, very slow and steady damage. Faceless Void, also slow and steady. It's just Mirana, double Starfall, and maybe Aether Shock and Voodoo, but that's a lot of mana to expend just to kill Illusions when you have this Bristleback who is just a huge force to reckon with.
He does so much damage that Like, it almost gives you that feeling of the old school days, like when you had like the Jakira and Bristleback in the same teams, it's just like the big ass pushes that happen on two different fronts. The Bristle solo is able to take towers when he's just left alone, and that's what's happened now. And maybe also OG understanding the fact that Faceless, they want to fight, and they will get the fight. Ana, can he live? The Moonlight Shadow still had the Beagles on him. So XY is the man to end the killing spree. Just shy of 400 gold for it, and the Moonlight Shadow being burned by OG. They just go for the trade-off. Massa for more trigger on the bottom lane, and to push the tier 2 tower. But looks like Ice is very happy for this. Like, he's only hitting at just shy of 300 each with his physical damage, and he's keeping up with OG's pressure. This is a 3-on-1 for a split push battle.
XY trying to hide and make his position not revealed.
Here they're coming.
Jerax.
Hook shot up, able to connect. Ice, locked inside the cops. Nuts, how much do you want to do on this one? You do actually get the Nova, but Nuts lets it go just on the edge. They do bring down Ice once more, but XY into the back lines, chasing Jerax back behind the tower. The shackles will hold him there, but the Burrow Strike arrives from Jabs, freeing from the shackles. XY gets a double kill. He'll time-lapse off the damage. Shikuchi 1 second away. Does he get locked? Does he get controlled? The Starfall, it connects, but on 17 HP, he's got 12 one charges. Will trigger them now as well as his bottle charges. The Urn will connect, but it isn't enough damage to kill him off. So he'll use Shikuchi for the movement speed. He might be worried about the rocket from S4. It is level 4, and XY playing very elusive. They may want to also go again up on the top lane. Nuts found, actually blocks the arrow. It was only a 1 second stun from Ana, but it saves the SK, allowing Jabs to blink up and TP away to safety.
That positioning, though, by Nuts right outside the edge of the Chronosphere.
It looks so many times like Nuts has been on the Chronosphere. Even that fight which happened next to the side shop on the top lane, that looked good too. Hook shot, S4 had to commit that one. Burrow Strike away, however, and S4, well, he committed. Ooh, arrow, it was close to miss uphill. S4 is living, they get the bug off him. He's gone back in again. SK wanted it, but S4 will survive. The stronger S.
Nice Hex timing, too, by Fly. He was very quick with that. That wasn't able to get that one right click in. Potentially Caustic would have finished him off. Bristleback, very slow on his blade mail timing.
He's just finishing it now. He's finishing it right now.
Yeah, you can't focus it during, and it just lets you apply another stack and a half of the Quill Spray.
I'm wondering too where he goes for his next item, because split push seems to be taken care of. Do you just start to build up armor? Do you look for the... I say you look for the AC, but he's going to finish up the full pipe by the looks of it in his quick buy.
I would still say he needs to survive the Chronosphere, because he's been just had everything in the kitchen sink thrown at him in these fights, and still he's not surviving despite building full defense.
Well, there goes the Chronosphere. We'll see if he'll survive this one. Underneath the tower has the extra armor. The Spirit is down, however. Rocket, where is that clockwork jump? The shackles are on. SK is on the way. TP support's coming in. Ice is still alive. Hexed up, almost dead. 40 HP. The wards, they don't do enough damage to kill him. Ice, the immortal. The one that Valve can never release. No-Tail still on the run as well. Quick time walk up into the tree lines, but Black is right behind him. They are going to find him in the trees and just bring him down. No-Tail actually admits his own death.
Oh god, he's at that critical point where they can't kill him, despite throwing
Hook
everything.
Shot. I don't know if that was the timing intended. they kill off the creeps so the BTs of Naga cannot complete. But they may have wanted to kill off Black when he came to the mid lane.
Would be a cruel twist of fate if OG got eliminated early in the tournament just by Naga Siren. And
this close to TI, let's not give them reminders of what happened at TI6.
And they haven't been able to use the sleep. Like, imagine if the same fight happens on the left side, but there is the Naga Siren to interrupt the combo onto the Bristleback. He's able to heal up a little bit, and then they go back in with the setup with the Epicenter. And then that would just be devastating for them. And with OG, most of their ultimates down to the fight, No-Tail in the grave. With the Goo, it's easy to kill the Roshan. And OG, maybe perhaps the right-click build on the Marauder would have been better, because then you can actually build a Silver Edge to deal with the Bristleback. Because I think Ice has been great with his positioning in that he does have his back face towards OG when he is Chronosphere, when he is Cog, when he is Slip, Hex, Shackled, everything.
But Ana's been so far behind, having like that double Starfall in order to clean out a wave and then keep pushing out. It makes sense. Fly, trouble for him. Nasal Goo is out, and all gunked up. Shadow Shaman's gonna be run through by the Weaver. It said Nuts will kill secure. Supports the people that need kills as well.
He has this little extra bit of gold there. The thing about the Axe build, however, is that you already have problems killing a Bristleback, and it doesn't scale well. Like, you're supposed to hit your big power spike right now when you get your Blink and your Axe. You should be able to instant kill people, but with the Bristleback in the game, there's no way you kill him with a double Starfall.
You at least stop the waves. And maybe that's the other thing we have to start looking towards. We're talking about OG in the previous games of this series having really strong high ground defense, especially in game 1. You got Chrono, you got ET Stomp, you got potential for double Starfall. Creep waves will go down, and then you've got the Mass Serpent Wards. You've got a lot of control, you've got a lot of magical burst damage, which could potentially pick off less people now the pipe is done. But you've got good clearance. OG can keep their high ground. That may not be enough to win this game, but it might drag it out. Ana, Leap, has to actually be S4's 4-staff used to get him out, but that's a lot of nasal goo on him. That's a lot of slow. In comes Notel, commits the Chronosphere, but Mirana is dying. The bug is slowly killing him off. 16 HP, tries to blink away, but the epicenter, it on top by Jabs. There's still a 2-for-1 trade-off as the Weaver has fallen under the Mass Serpent Wards. Maybe OG are capable of fighting, but Faceless Void losing too much life. Rooted needs a time walk, but he just can't do it. Locked and controlled. Another Clockwork rocket up. Hookshot is available here from S4. But the fight is over. Ice is still just too damn strong.
He's shaping up to be that unstoppable force that nobody can touch. The double Starfall did like, I don't know, 250 damage to him at the start of the fight, and they have no chance of killing him, let alone 2 times.
Yeah, it's difficult for now. OG need a later mid-game plan.
Bristleback's been buffed enough to the point where he can build straight defensive items and still output tons of damage. And he is very, very scary. Like, I think even just one of Bristle or one of Naga Siren would be... OG would have their hands full with that.
Yep. But the Naga Siren's having a great old time. This continues to happen. Illusions keep getting sent out. There'll be more and more once the Mana Style is completed from Black.
It's a little bit of a different build. I thought we might see more Octarines. We see Octarine before Manta style on Naga Siren a lot because of the mana.
They're coming to fight again.
With Crystal Maiden, maybe so.
XY is looking for the opportunity. S4 is the man who is that opportunity. Blink forward, Burrow Strike, hold him in position. Nazagoo begins, 4-staff up the hill, but they're reading it. Jabs. Burrow Strike still on cooldown for the moment, but they've slowed down S4. The cogs create a little bit of space. The illusions from Black actually tanking the Mirana arrow, allowing allowing Clockwork to finally go down to the illusion Riptide of Black. Notel is on the run. He has the Chronosphere, but does not want to use this defensively. Instead, they're looking for the kill on the Crystal Maiden. Arrow from Ana, able to connect. A quick leap away, back into safety. Now Notel thought about the Chronosphere for a second. The Spirit was there to help out, but Burrow Strike onto Ana. Has no leap, has 17 one charges. Will use them now on the Chronosphere. It caught Black with the slam. They're still inside the Chronosphere. Black, Song of the Siren. It'll be cancelled instantly. Ice. He wants the kill. The damage onto Ana isn't enough. The Stomp from Jirax. So much space created. The arrow will connect as well. Bristleback, stay as you are. Stay asleep and stunned. The Spirit's down too. Fly, where's that control? He's got shackles available. The in comes your epicenter! Jabs! Hits the money load! A double kill! They freed Ice. But now, maybe, still a little too deep. Ana needs more damage. He's got the arrow available. They'll burn the Aegis Immortal. A quick extra arrow, killing off XY. He can't time-lapse out this one. Now it's up to Ice. Can they do this? 3-on-1. Support is on the way, but then again, the cool sprays, they're really starting to stack up. There's 6 on Notel. He jumped in and Nuts lets it go. The 4-star from S4. Notel's got space. 1 second of time walk. He'll get away as well. They're cogs. They're burning. How can you kill off Ice? Take away his mana. Take away his friends. Nuts. Mirana can't even kill off a bloody Crystal Maiden. Nuts will juke around the tree line. He didn't see him go. Earn charges. Ice will now have to be the man to protect and support. Notel can't reach him. The Earn. Crystal Maiden will survive as they burn up the Shrine usage. Fantastic fight from both sides. Everyone's throwing everything they've got to stay in the Masters.
Naga Siren is just not tanky enough right now. It's just died in a Chronosphere. Perfect Earth Splitter coming out from them. I cannot believe that Notel identified that Naga Siren was at the edge of the fight and everyone was able to attack him on the side of OG. And yeah, although it's Bristle Boss right now.
No, Jirax run.
Getting kited.
Jabs is right behind you. Nuts is there as well, but he's got the movement speed available. Support's coming in. S4's going to find Ice. All I can say is the opposite way around. Ice needs freedom. Fly. Oh, 4-star didn't get him down. He may have to use the hook shot to get away to safety. Do they have a stomp? The ET splitter will end up being used. But what target do you get? You only keep Ice controlled. I say only. That's a pretty damn good target to keep controlled. Allowing Nortel to get in there. Start the fight. Keep the time dilation going. It connected into Ice, but it's to blink away. Jabs ends up surviving. No one dead from this fight, but with the double chronosphere, it might be possible. Focusing onto Black. Where is your jump forward? Where is your friends? It's going to be Anna with a double starfall. Black is low, but the Shaman's gone down. Ice. The stacks begin again. The man, the immortal, stomped up, put back to sleep. Put in ice until he will finally be brought forward back to life again. No tail. Oh, the song with the siren! It cancelled his TP! He was ready to leave the arrow! It connects on Black, however, in the epicenter! It's there! The damage! Turn up the song! Faceless Void will go down! And it was out of this one! ET again has to create the space. Durax will end up surviving as OG bail out. The timing, the glory, the Dota.
Both sides seem like asleep for half that entire fight. We're just missing like a Bane, and it's ridiculous that Naga Siren is still just being very vulnerable in these fights. Probably still an item away. She did not end up completing her Manta style in the fight.
That fight again, starting with that double chronosphere. It kept going. I'm wondering how they're even just able to clip some part of this. The fights over the course of the last 6 minutes have been 5 minutes long.
It's a problem that Bristleback can't attack in these fights, so he's getting...
Oh, they're finding another kill. Back to life again. XY gonna burn the BKB. Fly gonna stay on his tail. That is the 8-second BKB. So they know it's gonna wear off in a bit. Jirax, perfect position. Under the feet. Slam him up. Split him up. Hex him up. 75 seconds without the Weaver. OG have some breathing room.
What a play by these supports, just in the right place at the right time, and OG are keeping this very, very competitive despite the Naga having free farm for a very long time, and I haven't really seen too much of the impact of the Naga Siren, and she is their late game assurance, but they should have had these team fights won quite handily with the farm that she's possessed, as well as being able to turn around a lot of kills on the Bristleback. So now, looks like he is going for a Lotus Orb, it looks like. It will be incredibly good versus the Shaman. However, he is still quite vulnerable to the Echo Stomp from the Elder Titan. They probably need 4 staffs just so they can move him around in a fight.
I'm wondering if he's trying to free himself from Dilation, like it's the, what, cheaper Greaves?
Yeah, well, Dilation is incredibly good. It's also really good to cast on the Weaver so he can get his time lapse off.
The Weaver actually isn't going to go for the Act, he's going in for Diffusal Blade instead.
Yeah, he wants to be the secondary damage dealer. There's 2 ways you can play it. You can enable your Bristle to do a lot of damage and get Forces, Lotuses, BKB so that he can go around and do damage, or you can have your Weaver run around and pick off the backline as they're focused down on the Bristleback.
Alright, tense time for both sides. Kills might look even. The gold is really not that different. 5.5k when you got a Naga on the field, and considering how dominating Faceless have felt in the first part of this game, OG is starting to stabilize things. I think the experience graph is going to actually show us a lot more than that, where it actually almost levels out at 0. Both these teams feel like they can stand toe-to-toe.
Yeah, I think Black joined the fights very early on for his team, which was good, and then he got his Radiance, and then he stopped farming at some point. As soon as he got his Yasha, he was like, oh, okay, this is the time for me to fight.
Here we go for the fights.
Didn't have
they find the target, they find Nuts, the root over on the Faceless Void Fly. Just wants to get that quick pick on the back lines. And they're able to get it, so Crystal Maiden will fall. Ice. Now the next target, double Starfall. They take away a little bit of his life, but then again, a little bit was maybe 200. The epicenter is out again, but the SK having to move away, saw the splitter. Notel gets the Chronosphere. They caught XY. They caught the Weaver. Now Ice. It's Eisen from the rest of his team. Everybody stop the fun. Hook shot down. He'll be silenced up. It was jabs on the back line that S4 was going for. Black CP successful. Ice is still close. The Hex is there. Fly The arrow, it hits the target. They shackle him as well. So they're not chaining their stuns absolutely perfectly, but it will still be enough. Two of the biggest heroes down with no buybacks. Jabs goes back in again. Nuts, it's time to let it go. He needs a kill. He needs S4 to die, but it won't work. Not when the stomp is there from Jirax. OG, they've found 3 heroes, all without buyback. S4, even on 300 HP, still wants to stick on the front lines. They want to keep this pressure up. OG, they're licking their wounds after a victorious fight.
And these sleep timings from Black just are coming a few seconds too late to save the rest of Faceless. They're fighting like 2-on-5, 1-on-5 most of the time just because of their lack of teamwork right now. They have to play around the bristle. It seems like ISSI is trying to do everything for his team. He's doing the damage, he's taking all the spells, he's just drawing all their attention, he's pushing out the waves, he's hitting the towers, he's literally doing everything. And they're just, they need some bigger plays from the other cores. The Weaver just died. Or you play around ISSI and make him even bigger and better.
Well, here's the bigger question. Do you fight at all? You keep going into these fights against OG, which seem to keep going OG's way. You have a Naga building in for an Octarine. Can you look to the split push? Can you accept that as your game plan right now?
Theoretically, but I think if that were the game plan, they should have done it 20 minutes ago. And now at this point, after you conceded many fights, your farm is going to be way lessened because OG now have their big farming and fighting items. They have so many items on the Faceless Void right now, whose early battle period is paying off for them. And
well, I got my answer already. They 4-man smoke. They're looking for a fight in the mid. Anna comes forward, actually breaks the smoke on the Ice, but XY Takuching up behind him, a quick leap away. They can look towards Jirax, but don't find that target. In fact, they really find absolutely nothing. It's No Tail. He's the one that finds Ice. Only man caught inside the chronosphere. XY protected by his BKB. Jabs, they had to turn the Song of the Siren off. A lot of that epicenter didn't do enough damage. They keep force-staffing. They want more time for No Tail. He can trigger his BKB, look for another target. Time dilation making it difficult for XY, especially when the Cogs push him back down underneath the shrine. OG, they're trying to kill off XY, but the time lapse will work. Jabs created the space, and Ice moves forward. They need also the Master Serpent wants the arrow. Weaver, he can't go anywhere. Anna connected on that one. The Song creates more space. 2 Faceless Void will fall. 2 down for OG. Now it's them without the buybacks on their big heroes. Maybe a little bit more too. Nuts caught out in the tree lines. Anna catching the freebie. Ensnare from Black, holding him in position. In comes Ice. He's getting off my hero. Is the call. Able to do so. Anna will fall. A huge kill as well. Almost 660 gold for it.
Perfect positioning by XY during that chronosphere, just on the edge. No Tail tried to grab 2 of them, but after that they had little left in the tank, despite fighting on the shrine and having well-placed wards in that fight.
And now you start to see OG ability to stall it up. Faceless are very well aware of this. There's no point pushing into the base, but when you have Roshan alive and Bristleback with you, you're going to take that. The Clockwork Rocket will scout this out. S4 can be pretty liberal with his hooks. Now he's got that Aghanim Scepter.
Jirax just smoked up in the mid lane, though. He's looking to stop this smoke or at least confirm what's happening over there. And Elder Titan is one of the best heroes in the Roshan pit.
That's the reason why Faces are only leaving Ice in there. He's still got the damage. He hits for over 400 with the physical damage when he's at max Warpath stacks.
They don't have enough minus armor, though. They don't actually have a medallion on the side, so it's going down very slowly. Ana is in the grave for 40 more seconds, but
all they have to do is stall. That's all they have to do. Faces Void's back up. The same time he respawns, his Chronosphere is also up.
And this is a big Roche with the cheese in tow. Faceless Void keeping into the shrine. That shrine is up.
Yep, there goes your rocket. Burrow Strike forward. They're able to find Jirax and Ice coming into the fight. No Tail starts with the time dilation. He does still have that Chronosphere available. XY triggers his own BKB. Tries to protect himself for now as Jabs. He brings in the he actually brings in the epicenter. S4, the damage isn't enough onto him. In fact, almost with a blade mail. There it is. The Riptide damage will do the work. Jirax is actually ticking out to the Radiance. But as Jabs the man to find the kill, XY time lapse barely comes off. Jabs needs to help him out, and with the Burrow Strike, they're able to do so. Fly, he'll go down. No Tail with the Chronosphere, holds them in. Ice trying to prep up the stacks, trying to be the big man of this fight. With the help of Black, he might be able to do so. They let go on top of No Tail. Time Walk, free the man, able to do so, but it's going to be too much, or will it? He's still invis. The Moonlight Shadow, they don't see him. The Sentry Warp was too far away. He's got his Time Walk back up again. Still waiting this one out, got hit by the Chikuchi. And understands he's still not a healthy man. 1 second till Time Walk again. They know he went into the tree lines. He can't TP out. It's on cooldown for 16 seconds. So Anna tries to stay close with his friend in this time of need.
At this point in time, you probably report your support for not having detection.
They had it just didn't come in time.
Yeah, he walked around in the Moonlight Shadow for so long. Roshan is still at, what, 30% right now? They cannot leave the pit. But at the same time, if you let the Faceless just get in there for 10 more seconds, they can secure it with Song and a Siren. And then with Aegis and Cheese, they don't really care if they get Chronosphere. So this is a really prime time for OG. There is no Chronosphere for 50 seconds. And we see Bristle wanting to go for it. And he's going for 2 ways out of the time dilation. He's going for Greaves and for Lotus.
Wow.
Screw BKB.
You know, the hilarious thing is, I was wondering if he's going to change up his build. After looking at what we're seeing the Faceless Void building into, he's had that Eagle Song for a while. I was wondering if you consider going in for something like an MKB, because it's not really a natural item for anyone apart from, actually, Weaver. Weaver can build into it.
Having a... Oh, for whom? Weaver?
Yeah. Like how do you get your true hit to kill the Faceless Void? Song of the Siren coming out, just a guarantee for Roshan. The arrow will fly out as well. It doesn't actually catch anyone from OG.
And they don't have to fight right now. They could easily just wait for Songs. There's still plenty of time left on the Aegis and Cheese, and finally they secure some more items under their belt. But the net worth is still very, very tight at about 5,000, despite Faceless taking more objectives around the map. However, you can see how slowly they're losing more and more BKB charges, slowly losing more and more grip on this Bristleback. However, if they can annihilate Naga Siren at the start of the fight, she doesn't have the Aegis nor the Cheese. So I think the only thing that can like really save her if she gets Chronosphere is a time lapse from the Weaver, but I don't foresee him building a Scepter anytime soon. He's actually going into finishing his Hurricane Pike.
Nortel did actually buy out for this item. He finished up his full Butterfly for the next engagement. So he feels this is important enough to go up against Faces. And the next item on the list, Monkey King buff.
His buyback is not that important, because if he doesn't kill anyone during Chronosphere, there's no point in him buying back. Time dilation isn't going to do anything versus the itemization from Team Faceless, but it's still a tight fight from OG. They still can pick off important heroes from Faceless. I thought they were going to be invincible at the start of the fight, but like Naga Siren is still very, very vulnerable.
I love
to
the free
mass
gold.
Combos.
The free gold Nortel goes for. He takes the tier 1 tower on the top lane while relying on the rest of his team to keep the lanes out. And you still have to remember, ET Spirit, Ether Shock, all these things we talked about. It's very difficult for Faces to keep a wave alive. Anna could just blink out, do the double Starfall, leap back in again. Spirit Shock takes the wave out when it gets in close, if it does get in close. So Faces are always fighting with almost their bare heroes under the tier 3 towers.
They probably need... I don't even know how to kill people during the Chronosphere. I guess a lot of their damage comes from the Earth Splitter, but...
You'll have the Earth Splitter, you'll have the Mjolnir effect, which can be put on top of the Faceless Void as well, so it'll be on the front lines. Little by little, there's more and more to work with.
I'm just worried about like a timely sleep coming out during the Chronosphere. Then he just had to face his Void, and if he's isolated in there, there's no Lincoln Sphere coming out on him to block the net, and he could potentially just die while the rest of the team watches on in slumber.
Possible. Mass Serpent wards down.
In Chronosphere?
You have the +4, man. You got the +4 Mass Serpent wards.
Yeah, are there any talents that's going to be making a big difference?
The +4 wards may be it, but then again, the +3 second shackle duration may be worth it up against the Weaver.
I don't think you can sit there for that long. Bristle will kill you long before you finish shadowing.
So wards it is.
Yeah, I would say wards. And we do see Moran already level 25. So now it's probably time to transition into more right click.
He actually went for the leap attack speed as well. So over the crazy arrows.
Relatively speaking, it's not as good as it was before because they did shorten the duration on the leap.
Oh, middle lane, time dilation, able to hit one of those time locks, but no tail. That's a lot of damage, and he understands. Yeah, that butterfly don't protect Jack.
And I don't really foresee any other level 25s making that big of a difference here.
Maybe the cast range, at least No-Tail can get in and out.
I think he still has damage issues. Maybe Clockwork, actually. I think Clockwork has a lot of high damage potential coming out with the battery assault and battery assault duration. It's not like they're really using BKBs to survive these fights. It's really just the Weaver who has BKB. Bristle still has an itemized versus, so you still have all this magic control and magic damage that is going to be possible for them.
Faceless is going to be a very patient game from them. Make sure they have their items. They kind of want OG to come out to them to fight, as opposed to fighting inside the OG base, which seems to be impossible. But moments like this when No-Tail, okay, you can see how jumpy Jabs is. He sees No-Tail, instantly runs away.
They don't have enough damage to kill Faceless Void right now.
Yeah.
20 HP, no MKB on anyone.
I'm wondering how you do that too once he finishes up his Satanic. And that is his item. Chronosphere. You know, at this point, when the game is going as slow as it is, you do need to go for something like this.
But Aegis is still up. They can just siege high ground with this. No Chronosphere on the side of OG. Are you kidding?
Yeah, because there was no Aghanim Scepter.
That Faceless is...
Anna's trying to keep him out. They need the Spirits. Jirax needs to slow this down. He doesn't actually have it available just yet. So keep the damage. It's actually quite decent damage when you get the Mjolnir procs kicking into the Bristleback. And Notel already committed his BKB. Arrow will fly forward. The Splitter as well. It misses. It doesn't actually hit on almost anything. That arrow could have connected onto XY, but they come in again. The double Starfall. Anna dropping down low. Needs to go back to regenerate for a quick bit, while Fly keeps the Hexes going. Keeps the damage off their towers. Same thing with the Cogs from S4. Anything they can do to keep Faceless away. Buy time for the Chrono. It's another minute up. The Arrow Fly is going to fall a little bit short. Black's Illusions also running great interference. Epicenter jabs again. Hits the money. Will it be enough, however? Ice running forward and doesn't have an escape. He can't leap. The Moonlight Shadow will have to be that escape for them. But they have to get back in a fight. The Stomp, the Burrow Strike. Stomp never completed by the Elder Titan. That tier 3 tower slowly chipping down. S4, he's repositioning to go for a nice hook shot in to then Cog burn. And that's what he's done to the back lines. Cogs trying to hold him here. The buyback from the Faceless Void. Still 25 seconds until Chronosphere is up. But Faceless, they are retreating. They want to run out of this one. Notel wants to fight. 18 seconds. Hook shot. S4, it's going to miss. Remember, it's still the Aghanim Scepter upgrade. So he'll have it up in just a bit. OG, they still want to fight. S4, 4 seconds before he can go for a hook. They need just a little bit of vision. The Rocket will try and grant that. They'll see the Sandstorming escape as the Shackles onto Ice. Notal jumps in. 1 second. Chronosphere is up, but where's your target? Jabs came in to leave just as quick as he entered, but it's the back line. The double Yule Scepter up while you have the Chronosphere holding the Sand King in position. It also held Anna and S4. Maybe not part of the original plan, but they find the kill. SK buys back. They have the Shrine to TP into, so S4 trapped. The Blade Mail trying to protect him for the moment, but it'll wear off as well. S4, hook shot down. He doesn't survive this. 1 second to force off. It won't happen. Jab's able to find that kill. Nuts was also going to be there to put the icing on the cake with the Frost.
Perfect reset by Faceless. I think Black even BOT'd back to like the top shrine or the top creep wave. He didn't BOT back to base, so in case OG wanted to keep on pressing forward, they still have to deal with the Naga Siren in this fight. And that's a second buyback coming out from them. It's been a long, extended fight from them, but OG on their last lifeline as they defend this high ground siege.
Yeah, the Spirits are down. Hold them back. Here comes your ET Splitter. They commit. Faceless Void's in there as well. The double Starfall. XY. Time lapses off the damage. Now they turn off the Song of the Siren. The Burrow Strike and Epicenter. The damage is there. Notel. Time walks it off. They did lose Nuts, and now they keep fighting. Black needs to do his damage while Jirax puts them to sleep for the moment. They isolate Jabs. Anna is focusing on those supports, able to bring him down 110 seconds without buyback as Faceless Void stands his ground against Ice. The cool spray stacks. Gotta be careful when they start stacking up on you, not to mention Nasal Goo. Jirax looking for another stomp. Cannot catch out Ice. OG is still costly. They still have to expend buybacks, but they do hold their racks. They keep Faceless from claiming the momentum of the lane.
And double power runes now. DD up, Roshan up very, very soon. Faceless probably just need one more Aegis before they can actually start relaxing a little bit. The gem was taken from
Yeah, it's in the hands of Jirax from Nuts. Oh, well, that's one way to try and control him. The Lotus Yules.
Yeah, Bristleback is still quite unstoppable. And now he's level 25 with his quill stack damage. He's tired of being ignored. Still, the Stomp, I think, from Elder Titan has disabled. Like, if he had that quest, that Disable Hero quest, he would have had it like 20 minutes ago. It's incredible how much he's controlling these people in these fights. Like, maybe at some point he can get like a axe, I suppose, if he could ever afford it. But he is going for a scepter, or sorry, a scythe, to potentially add more log onto killing this Weaver. And Weaver has just been escaping by the skin of his teeth.
They really do need that control. As you mentioned, like, the damage isn't there, so it's up to Jirax, it's up to Fly to continue to keep this control going. The Chronosphere from Notel, he'd love to use it. The tier 2 tower is being attacked, still 18 seconds before SK's back up and running. They take the tier 2 tower. Pushing beyond this doesn't make a lot more sense. Especially when if they lose this fight, Roshan could then be picked up by Faceless shortly after. He is in that potential spawn time, even though he's a minute and a bit away. Oh, they find the courier. Nothing of value was on it. But they really want to get some level more, like more of this map control, more of some of the gold as well that comes from killing off these buildings. When you commit the Mass Serpent Wards, you know you don't want to fight the arrow. It actually hit onto Jabs. They just keep pushing him further and further away from the OG lineup.
I think Ana is going to start coming into the forefront in terms of doing damage. The net worth in between the two right clickers is like Marana versus the Weaver, but Weaver's way far behind, and his talent isn't
gets the
as good.
burrow strike. He found Jirax. X4 just leaves him. He hook shots away and says, "Bye, son. It was nice knowing you." You'll set her up and towards the air. This is actually a big loss because it's got the Gem of True Sight. Oh, wait. Yeah, it is a loss. The Frostbite is there from Nuts, so the Gem of True Sight will be lost.
He almost got away there. Oh, that would have been devastating for them. So let's check out the Roshan respawn. Wow, almost maximum time.
Yeah. Faceless are having to wait. We get our next major item up. The full Satanic is now completed for the Faceless Void. He did hit level 25 and has that plus 600 cast range on the Time Walk.
Yeah, he's definitely needs that because he's having issues getting kited. I think the Root and the Frostbite in particular. He doesn't have Lincolns, he doesn't have Manta Style. No way to break free unless he has BKB. But BKB is all the way down to 5 seconds time on him. So he is the prime target for all these roots and ensnares.
Oh, they're waiting. Right now, Nuts is a ward, sitting inside the pit. He's just watching and waiting. And eventually, Ice will come in. Luckily, OG has something which is a little bit easier to use, which is the Clockwork Rocket.
Oh, nice.
So OG is actually going to be the team that discovers that Roshan's up first, but we're basically a max spawn time anyway, so both teams should be aware of it.
Faceless do have their Shrine, though. OG without that, it's going to be tough for them to take the fight. Especially when Faceless can easily like reset, go back to the Shrine with sleep, and then fight again.
Faces are in there.
They might have 2 lives. Yeah.
S4 just uses Rocket on the mid lane as well, so we're not going to get that early vision. Elder Titan, Jirax is back at the tier 3 tower, so they don't have that. So it looks like OG, they're going to let Roshan go. Even Clockwork using his hook shot to try and bring down illusions. The Spirit's coming out now from Jirax, but it may be too late. Roshan's down to 3k, and the Spirit won't get there in time. In fact, it can't even reach the pit. So Aegis the Immortal plus Chi now into the hands of Faceless. Aegis will be collected up by XY. The Chi's into the hands of the SK.
They need to make sure this bottom lane doesn't get out of control. Fly's still down there, so in case they try and push mid right now, he could just drop the wards onto the T3, get a free T3, and then take down a Shrine. That they'd be in pretty good control of this game. Looks like they want to nip it straight in the bud, going for the quick kill on the Fly.
Need a moment. Sweaty hands. He did have 4 of those heat packs in his hands at the very start of the game.
Keep those fingers warm.
We've got to keep the crowd pleased every time we put Ice on camera.
He's so nervous.
But still, such a tense moment. 37, 35, 50 minutes in. There's 8,000 advantage to go in the way of Faceless, but I'm wondering really if you want to count any of this now. Like, you take a team fight. Now, Faceless actually have really good ways to start bringing down buildings if you win the team fight. It's not really the same for OG. OG is still going to be in that position where they have to start repairing their lanes. Like pushing the Miranda down the side lanes, pushing Shadow Shaman down another side lane, because Black's Illusions are continuously adding pressure on every single lane of OG's.
Yeah, especially with the Arcane Rune, which is going to be pretty common now.
There is the one upside. It's allowing them to farm the creep waves from the safety of their tier 3 towers every time it pushes. So the net worth is not looking too shabby for the Faceless Void as well as the Mirana. They are keeping up. And do we actually start reaching a point as well where Black's net worth, all this money he's picking up, becomes ineffective? Like, he's looking towards a Bloodthorn as his next major item, but he's practically 6-slotted.
I think you could throw a Moonshard on Bristle and or Weaver, and it would still be very, very effective. Almost as good as them buying it themselves, I would say, in terms of gold spent, but I'm not sure. They just needed one good Chronosphere, and it should be on Black, because as you mentioned, he is slot limited at this point, and buyback on Naga Siren is going to be your first step to victory if you're OG.
Yeah. She buys back, BT's in, and all of a sudden we're playing the same song all over again.
Ana hits really hard. They also have like no great physical mitigation on Naga Siren. Naga Siren didn't commit for the butterfly, so he's hitting at full strength, especially during those 5 seconds.
Nortel needs to get out of here right now. The jump up jab. Does he do what he does? The blind burrow strike. He finds him 1 second till time walk. So Nortel get a little bit more distance. Still got the beetle on him, so know exactly where he's going. Even getting mini bashed up by the Monkey King bar. 1 more second, another time walk. BKBs, and he jumps right into nuts. He's actually locked in the tree lines. They force have to reveal Nortel's position in the epicenter. Faceless Void will fall. Support couldn't arrive for OG. S4 was thinking about coming in, but Ice kept him out. So his defense time buyback is available for Nortel, but at this point of the game, you don't want to expend that money.
He also doesn't have BKB if he buys back. He can just get slept on his Chronosphere and do nothing.
Very, very problematic. OG has a decision to make. Is it worth to defend this top racks? They're currently losing their range rack. It's not the melee that's under pressure just yet.
The thing is, you had to buy back on Faceless Void, but he's probably just waiting for his BKB to come up. Just 13 seconds time, but that's going to be 1 racks down for sure.
Yeah, Ice, hook shot gonna miss jabs. He's literally standing still under the sandstorm. But they don't find their target just yet. Ice will do the work, and OG make the decision. The top rack isn't worth it. The second racks will be, however. There's your buyback from the Faceless Void. Hook shot out, perfect. Actually clips Weaver on the way through. Naga Siren now thinking about the song of the Siren. Clockwork is invis for the moment as the Moonlight Shadow, but thanks to that Gem of True Sight, they're able to see him. So Clockwork will fall. Also buyback available for S4. He might have to use it. Anna caught out. Liquor Spear will trigger, but there's your Chronosphere out from Nortel, catching XY as well as Ice. They want that Weaver down. They are able to achieve it, but the Aegis Immortal will trigger on him. Ice is falling down low. He's got the cheese available, so you may think this is a fight, but with the cheese being triggered off, Ice back into the world of fighting, and the trouble is S4. He's too far out. Hook shot available, keeping the SK now out of the sandstorm, but S4 will fall. A die back out from him. Keep pushing him back underneath the towers. OG need to defend, but the double burrow strike, perfect from Jabs, playing out of his mind. He needs more damage, and they've got it in droves from Faceless. The starfall damage from Anna completely actually warped out there from the Weaver. Time-lapsing it off. OG, they're running out of people, and they've run out of hope. GG! Faceless will eliminate OG in a 2-1 battle in the lower bracket.
Why is Ice not even sitting
It is another day in the Filipino office.
He's not even happy.
You know what? Everything happened as expected. Yeah, I'm good with this. Yeah, we won.